Having surpassed 1,000 completed anime, it's time to review my old favorites and find out what holds up. I'm Sacrabolic, your envoy of hope, and this is Anime Favorite Search. Steins Egoistic Poriomania is about 20-minute-ish OVA where the Future Gadget Laboratory is invited to America because Ferris has to compete in her card game tournament. So she takes them along, and they meet up with Kirisu, who has recently started having dreams where she is basically remembering the other timelines from the main show, and is having conflicted feelings about these because of her skeptical disbelief that any of this actually happened, and the sort of inherent knowledge in her that it absolutely did, but also because she totally remembers falling in love with and kissing Oukoubakko, and it's really kind of fucking with her head. In this OVA, Oukoubakko's gimmick, his mad scientist gimmick, goes a little too far, and he ends up canceling the hotel that Ferris arranged for them to stay at. So the Future Gadget Laboratory ends up staying in this shitty-ass motel that he ends up running away from because he finds the woman that is probably Suzuha's mom. Maybe they look and sound exactly the same, so there's a bit of an implication, especially because a fortune teller told her she'd have a daughter in 7 years. So, yeah, probably Suzuha's mom. You know, when I watched the series for the first time, I don't know if Egoistic Poriomania was out at the time, but I did not watch it in my first watch. Well, it's an OVA, so it was probably, it's a Blu-ray release, I'm assuming. So that would probably be why I didn't watch it for a while later. When I finished the show, I always sort of got the idea that Moeka was Suzuha's mom, just because they honestly look a lot alike. Like, she has the same sort of hair color, and I thought that would, and because Moeka is working with Braun now in a non-CERN capacity, it seemed like a sort of step now that she's fully integrated into a pseudo member of the Future Gadget Laboratory. So I remember when I actually watched this, I was almost sort of surprised that Moeka isn't Suzuha's mom. And honestly, I kind of wish she was, because this new girl, it just sort of comes out of nowhere and feels like she has nothing to do with anything. But anyway, the real focus of this is actually probably Oukoubakko and Kirisu sort of having their classic banter that you know and love, but also this sort of resolution to their feelings for each other that came about throughout the entire show. And I will say that it sort of ends on a bit of a cliffhanger where Oukoubakko reconfirms his love for Kirisu and then asks how she feels. And then she repeats the line for him to close his eyes like she said in the actual show. And there's an implication they're going to kiss, but they don't show the kiss. So it's a little open-ended, but you can pretty much infer. So, yeah, you get a lot of good banter, you get some shenanigans, you do get the answer to who Suzuha's mom is, even though I'm not particularly fond of that answer. But it's also 20 minutes, so there really isn't too much to talk about. It's a good time, it's enjoyable, it's also pretty short, so there really isn't too much to discuss. Twitch and Discord in the description. I've been Sacrabolic, your envoy of hope. Bye-bye.